Yes, a nice reward waiting for the winner.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Bits of Krish. I finally became the champion in the fist fighting competition in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 universe. Not in real life though, I'm harmless, unlike our menacing boy Henry. But hey, at least in the digital world, I got to live my dreams, being called a champion in something. I'll take it, but let's get to the good stuff. How did I achieve this mighty feat? Well, in today's video, I'll show you exactly how I did it, so you too can experience a false sense of achievement, you losers. Just kidding, or am I? Of course, it's not just about the flex. This important side quest comes with some juicy rewards and I'll guide you through it all. So hang tight and let's dive in. At a job in Semen, Jurko, a wedding guest who was obviously wasted beyond repair, mistook Henry for a servant and decided to bully him in every possible way. Because why not? Things escalated real quick and next thing we know, it was fist fight time. Henry, being the brave soul he is, landed few punches. But oh boy, Jurko beat him to a pulp. Left, right, center, Jurko just clobbered Henry like he was medieval mincemeat. And to make it worse, his friends were cheering him on while Henry lay there, looking like a discarded cabbage. And guess what? It all happened in front of Semin's royalty. Talk about public humiliation. I couldn't take it, guys. Watching Henry in that state, unacceptable. After all, I was the one holding the controller. I had a duty, a sacred responsibility to uphold Henry's honor. Isn't that right? Battered and bruised, and with his pride in shambles, Henry dragged himself to the Jelioff, where he heard from the innkeeper about a wee underground fist fight club. Oh, now we are talking. The prize? Something super attractive. That was it. Henry had to prove himself, not just as a fighter but as the greatest warrior in the history of Kingdom Come. So I confidently stepped up to sign him up, only to realize I was broke as hell. The innkeeper took one look at my empty pockets and booted me straight out of the door. How could I forget that even in medieval times, money makes the world go round? Pathetic. And that, my dear viewers, is why you should subscribe to my channel and like this video so that it gets shared to more people. I have so many fabulous ideas for content to entertain you guys, but I need your support. Since I was too broke to enter, I had no choice but to turn to that crazy ass Miller. Apparently, the Jelioff innkeeper mentioned that Miller also wanted to send his own fighter to the competition. If I could butter him up just right, he might let Henry take his spot. So off I went to the Miller's place, did all sorts of favors to earn his trust, that you don't wanna know. And finally, he agreed to let Henry join the club. But wait, there's a catch. Before Henry could even dream of entering, he had to beat the finest feast at Miller's place. Only then would Miller feel confident enough to put Henry forward for the tournament. This kicks off a side quest called Millie at the Mill. The first opponent, Hensel. Time to throw hands. So if you wanna see how Henry goes from punching back to absolute legend, stick around for the full breakdown and comment below if you have ever been beaten up in a game so bad that you took it personally. Now let's get to fighting. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, brawling isn't just about throwing hands. It's an art. You can't just rush in and spam right trigger like a maniac. Trust me, if you do, your stamina will vanish faster than your savings at the medieval tavern, and your opponent will happily land a few punches on your face. If you mistime your moves and sense an incoming punch, just tap that dodge button and leap away like you meant to do that all along. Catch your breath, reassess, and then dive back in. While fighting Hensel, I finally wrapped my head around the technique. By the time I faced next few opponents, I was throwing fists like a seasoned street fighter. Hensel may have seemed tough at first, but once I cracked the rhythm, it was easy peasy. Keep some groschens handy. No one here wants to brawl without a little betting involved. It's the medieval way of saying, put your money where your fists are. After knocking out Hensel, I systematically took down Miller's other muscle-bound lackeys. In return, I unlocked insane buffs for unarmed combat, and as a nice little bonus, my agility and park points skyrocketed. You can also invest in a few groschens to train with Malik. He'll teach you the fine arts of brawling, thievery, and even drinking. Yes, drinking is a skill in this game. Priorities. Am I right? Brawling isn't just about throwing fists. It's a full body workout that buffs your stats. My strength, agility and vitality all shot up dramatically, dragging my main level along for the ride. If you're looking for a side quest that's as rewarding as it is fun, this one's a no-brainer. Finally, Innkeeper Lawrence granted Henry access to the big leagues. The fights were more or less the same drill, beat down some beefy contenders using the tricks I mentioned earlier. But here's the twist. Some fighters were agile as hell and came at me like caffeinated squirrels. So, in the beginning, I played it safe, blocking, dodging, watching their moves. Once I got their rhythm, I flipped the switch and went all in. The key? Changing directions mid-attack and throwing an unpredictable punch. It totally threw them off. Pro tip, sometimes you can rush an opponent and latch onto them, which lets Henry land some sweet painful combos. Before I knew it, I had won the championship. Bagged 200 Groschen, 2 Savior Schnapp and reached an absurd strength level. Then came the twist. Just when I thought I was the world boxing champ, Lawrence hit me with the classic. Not so fast, champ. Apparently, there was one last challenger, a mystery fighter deep in the woods of Kopanina. No one in Trotsky had ever beaten him. Naturally, Henry took the challenge like the reckless warrior he is and set off. Turns out, my final opponent was a humble herbalist named Burnaby, calm as a swan, probably brewing some fancy potions. But when the fists started flying, the poor guy barely knew what hit him. By the time he realized he was in a fight, boom, he was eating dirt. But hey, no hard feelings. The man took his loss like a champ and even offered me aged mead. What a legend. And that, my friends, is how I became the ultimate boxing champion in Kingdom Come history, celebrating my victory with my toughest opponent over a well-earned drink. By the end of it all, I had reached warfare level 11. Not too shabby for a guy who started by getting punched in the face. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you are new, and hit that bell icon to stay updated. I am officially too tired after all the fighting. Time to crash. See you in the next one. Ciao ciao.